Okay, so we got Monday Night Football. Give it to me. It's the Seahawks and the Eagles in Philadelphia, which is tonight, 8 p.m. 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. It's in Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. But before we tell you who we think's gonna win and why, I want to give you a little bit of insights real quick. For the record, Russell Wilson is 10-1 in his career against teams with three or fewer wins in Week 10 or later, which is a big deal. That's a thing to keep in mind. Uh, as for room for improvement, Carson Wentz is the 10th quarterback since 2000 to start the first 10 games of a season and not reach a 100-plus passing rating in any game. It goes to show you that Carson Wentz is not the top 10 quarterback that ESPN says they are. But that's another topic for another time. The Seahawks are 2-3 on the road this season. They're 5-0 at home. So most of their wins comes from home, and they have never lost at home. That's a big deal. Again, going back to Carson Wentz, he's the first quarterback to be sacked 40 plus times in the first 10 games of a season since Ryan Tannehill in 2013. That's another big thing. It goes to show you this man's vulnerable, and his O line isn't willing to protect him. His O line's not that. Um, and the last insight is either DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett or both had 90 plus receiving yards in each of the first 8 games this season. Neither had 90 plus yards in the last 2 games, which is big. It goes to show you they're kind of having their off games. And they need them. And despite I know it's the Eagles and they're a pretty weak team offensively and somewhat on defense. They still need it to prove that they're a powerhouse in the NFC and in the NFL in general. I still got the Seahawks winning this game. But I just think Russell Wilson's gonna have himself a game. But I'm gonna take it over to you, Mario, and see what you think.
Honestly, I think this is gonna be between a touchdown. I really think this is gonna be a 7 point game. And I'll explain why. So you look at the offense. So the ranking for the offense are fifth. They're ranked number of Seahawks are ranked 15th, and the Philadelphia Eagles are ranked 31st. I know that's hard to believe, but whatever. NFL rankings, you know. As for defense, the Seahawks are ranked 28th, and the Philadelphia Eagles defense is ranked 6th. That's a big
That's
margin.
that's one that's hard for me to believe.
It's hard for me to believe too, but that's a big margin. As for
Yeah, it
pass
is.
12th in the league, I don't believe that one bit, but this is NFL rankings.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are 30th. Rushing is very close. Seattle's 18th, and Philadelphia Eagles are 19th. So with those being said right there, I think this is really going to come down to how good the Eagles defense is going to be against the Seahawks. And I think if the Eagles play like the number 6 ranked defense, I think this is going to be a tough time for Russell Wilson. I really do. And I think this could be done by a touchdown. I still got the Seahawks winning, but I think they'll win by like probably a touchdown if that goes according to plan. If that doesn't go according to plan, if that goes according to plan, the one way the Eagles could win is if their rushing game is better than the Seahawks. And what I mean by that is if somehow Miles Sanders or Boston Scott, if one of those guys has a good game, that could be the difference maker for the Eagles to win this game and pull up the upset. I can't see it happening. I can see Russell Wilson coming in clutch and winning a game. I can see DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett, or even, I can see them balling out. Even Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde had a good game last week. We can't forget about him. He might have a good game this week too, maybe. But if the Eagles play like the 6th ranked defense that they are, this could be a tough game for Russell Wilson to win. I think he'll still pull out the win. Because remember, he's had some close
moments.
Yeah, like he's had some close games against him, like beginning against Minnesota Vikings. He almost lost that game. If you remember, he almost lost. He won by a point. So I mean, it could happen again, if the Eagles decide to show up and have a knife. Because sometimes Carson Wentz has a good game. Sometimes he has a really good game. Sometimes he just doesn't. And it's all going to be about how much is Carson Wentz going to be able to do, and how much is the defense going to be able to do for the Eagles. And again, the one other thing about the Eagles, I don't want to blame it all on Carson Wentz. He's a part of it, but he's not the main reason why the Eagles aren't doing good. Another big reason why the Eagles aren't doing good is their offensive line is just banged up and they're just not healthy. Plus, he doesn't have a lot of receivers to throw to, which is another argument which we could make. But that's all. But here's the thing: the good quarterbacks, that could be excused for, right? The great quarterbacks can do without those guys. The great ones can do it without them. You know what I'm saying? How many years in a row did Tom Brady not have a good wide receiver on his side? How many times were they hurt and he was still able to actually produce stats and actually help the Patriots win. He went 13 straight seasons with the New England Patriots won a super where New England Patriots not won a Super Bowl, where they won the AFC North. Okay, and he did this in years where they didn't have a Pro Bowl wide receiver, or didn't have a productive wide receiver. So with that being said, Carson Wentz has to make it work with what he got. Again, it's the next man up. The next man up has to ball. That's absolutely true. The offensive line has to do their job and protect him and give him time to throw the ball. And the defense has to do a good job on the other side, stopping the Seahawks. But honestly, the two biggest factors in this game, in my opinion, are how good is the Philadelphia Eagles defense going to be today, and how good is the
Seahawks offense.
Right, and not only that, how good is the offensive line going to hold up to give Carson Wentz time to make plays? So I got the Seahawks win by a touchdown if that goes well. If not, then it's going to be another blowout in my opinion. Seahawks win either way.
Yeah, absolutely. I got the Seahawks winning, of course. The Monday Night Football tonight, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN in Philadelphia. So, good luck to both teams.